All right, moms, we understand that your child's health and well-being are your top priorities. And we know how tough it is to battle through those sleepless nights and the worrisome moments when your little one starts coughing and struggling to breathe due to RSV or croup or one of those things. And I might not understand as well as Dr. Sam or many of you moms, but I can't help it that when the kiddos aren't feeling well, they prefer mom versus dad. Sorry, that's just how it is. That's why, though, we've created this educational video for you to empower you with the knowledge and strategies you need to confidently navigate through croup episodes and provide the best care for your child. So imagine being able to soothe your child's croup symptoms and ease their discomfort and make those stressful nights a thing of the past, all while minimizing the use of medications, which sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? So in this video, I'm going to share valuable insights, expert tips, natural remedies that we use, and it can help your child better navigate a bout of croup, and even more importantly, prevent and avoid them altogether in the future. So both my kiddos have struggled with croup, and I remember going through it distinctly, more so with Brooks than Ren, because the second kid, you know, it's minimal compared to number one. You just know what to expect. But the first time with Brooks was alarming. His cough would get way worse at night, leading to that distinctive, scary barking cough that is common with croup. And unfortunately, we weren't all that surprised that Brooks struggled with respiratory illnesses and challenges that first year of life, because not only are things like croup quite common for little ones, but he had suffered from a traumatic birth. So Sam labored for about 3 days before Brooks was eventually delivered via C-section. And due to the lack of constriction on the thoracic cavity that normally occurs during a vaginal delivery, getting rid of all the amniotic fluid and getting their lungs fired, C-section kiddos tend to struggle with more respiratory illnesses than vaginal delivery kiddos. So we were already anticipating this. And while almost every parent will get quite concerned when they hear their child with that harsh barking cough and trouble breathing at night, we were extra heightened knowing the tough start that Brooks' lungs had already had in life. So we knew that all we needed to do was support his immune system, and he'd be able to fight this off. And the best way to support the immune system of our little ones is to support their nervous systems. So why do we always turn to adjustments and natural options and save medications as the absolute last resort? We certainly aren't against medications, right, or other medical treatments, as we've seen the modern medicine, surgeries, medications, whatever, save lives many times. But we also both had this scientific understanding and clinical experience to know that the more often a young child under the age of 2 is given medications for respiratory and immune challenges, the sicker and sicker they get as time goes on. So all the way back then and still today, our family takes care of our health in this order. Natural everything first, think chiropractic, natural remedies, and then medications last. And to this day, neither one of my kiddos have had to take a medication. And call me biased, but I like to think they're two of the healthiest kids that I've ever met. And that's because we look to build strong, resilient immune systems in our kids and not suppress and weaken them. So, what is croup? Croup is an upper airway infection that restricts breathing and leads to a distinctive barking cough. It is most common in young children aged 6 months to 3 years, and is even more common in infants born early or premature, or who suffer from other respiratory immune challenges such as asthma. Croup has some pretty distinctive symptoms, as any of you guys have known. The barking cough, the hoarse voice, the labor breathing, and these all tend to get worse at night. How do we diagnose and treat croup medically? To diagnose croup, medical professionals observe breathing. They might listen with a stethoscope, and they may use diagnostic tools like a neck or a chest x-ray and use a pulse oximetry to check oxygen levels. But traditionally, it's treated with corticosteroids that override the body's natural mechanisms and reduce inflammation and swelling in the larynx and the respiratory system. These medications, however, often they can be life-saving, but then also come with both short-term and long-term side effects. So what causes croup? More often, croup comes from a cold that then continues to worsen, irritate the airway, ramp up inflammation. So when trying to find the cause, we look to the same things that we look for a common cold. But as neurologically focused chiropractors, we do not look at things like the same way as medical doctors do, or the medical system does, when addressing the cause. Most medical doctors continue to tell parents that things like colds, croups, that they come from being exposed to others who are sick, and that things are spread through respiratory droplets, or touching contaminated surfaces, sharing utensils, whatever. If the health of our kids was really such a one-sided game where every time they're exposed to germs, they're sure to get sick, we'd actually have even more illness in kids than we already do. And think about like a classroom, for example. Why is it that not everyone gets sick? Why is it that everyone in a family doesn't get sick at the same time? We certainly are around those who are sick, and not to boast, but take me for example. I literally interact with about 100 people a day. If sickness was simply passed by being exposed to others who are sick, I should be the sickest person in the county. And again, not to boast, I've only had one sick day here in 10 years. And I swear that day that somebody tried to poison me, that was awful. So again, as neurologically focused chiros, when looking at the cause of respiratory illnesses in our patients, we tend to look at things that could be lessening the resilience and stressing out their nervous system and immune system versus things that they might be exposed to. And the most common case history findings that we've discovered that stress out the neuroimmune system and leave a child most susceptible to colds and croups are number one, birth intervention and trauma. Like I said with Brooks, right? C-section, he has a lot of respiratory illness or has had a lot of respiratory illnesses, and through chiropractic, we've been able to build up his immune system to lessen those. Other things, colic, difficulty sleeping, digestive challenges such as reflux or constipation, developmental challenges or delays within the motor system or the sensory processing system. And then when looking at the case in real time, 3 very common findings tend to accompany the onset of common colds and even croup in kids. Number 1 is growth spurts. This places extra stress and fatigue on the system, especially the nervous system and the muscles. Number 2 that we see, teething, which brings extra stress through added pain and trouble sleeping, extra fluid and congestion in the upper respiratory area. And then number 3, which is happening right now, seasonal changes. And as simple as it sounds, significant changes in weather patterns can really stress out a young child's immune system. And like all respiratory and immune challenges in kids, the good news is that there is quite a bit we can do at home to help them rest, recuperate, and recover without drugs, without medications, more often than not. And it all starts with focusing on that word we've already shared first, rest. When your child struggles with a cold or croup, the body's natural intelligence will already look to decrease activity. They don't want to eat, they don't want to move, and it increases rest. They're fatigued, they're lethargic, and it helps do this to prioritize resources to help fight off and clear the infection. And the number one thing to consider is ensuring your child can get adequate rest and fluid intake. Staying hydrated through a respiratory illness like croup is key. If they become extremely lethargic to the point of possible dehydration, taking them to see your medical provider and having possible intervention is warranted at that time. When at home though, look to keep them as calm and comfortable as possible, along with keeping them hydrated. Look to add a humidifier to the room or even spend some time soothing them in the bathroom with a hot shower or bath running nearby to make it extra humid and moist in there. So where does chiropractic fit in then? The first thing to discuss here is that chiropractic does not attempt to treat or cure croup in any way, shape, or form. No matter the condition at hand, chiropractic care seeks only to boost and improve the body's own natural defenses against stress and against illness, not to do the job for it. As pediatric and family chiropractors, we focus entirely on addressing something called subluxation, which occurs when there is a buildup of excessive stress, physical stress, chemical stress, mental or emotional stress, and tension on the nervous system, leaving it in a state of something that's called dysautonomia. And the most common things parents report when bringing their child in for adjustments during bouts of croups, colds, RSV, whatever, other respiratory illnesses are number 1, improved drainage and ability to dispel mucus and congestion. Number 2, improved sleep and easier ability to soothe and relax. Number 3, less severity and duration of illnesses, able to get through them faster, less severity and duration for future illnesses. And number 4, less use of over-the-counter or prescription medications. And the first thing neurologically focused chiropractic adjustments seek to do is restore the balance of the central nervous system and the autonomic nervous systems. Since the nervous system controls and regulates all other major systems, including the immune system, this is an important place to start and a foundational piece of care for families who want to help their kids get and stay healthy without drugs and medications. So parents, as a dad, I know how scary croup and chronic coughs can be. It's time to help your child kick the sick easier and get to the root cause of what is making them so susceptible to these nasty bugs. If you're interested in learning more about croup, chronic coughing, and how chiropractic care can help support your child's neuroimmune system, check out the link in our bio or read our full article. Well, you can read our full article there. Our team is already here, always here to help. Thanks, guys.